Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Moba. Thank you so much for clicking my video. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you the most recent updated makeup do's and don'ts of 2023, from 2022 to 2023, and even possibly 2024. Disclaimer, I'm not trying to say in this video that the way you do your makeup is wrong. I'm not trying to say that the way you apply your makeup is not acceptable or makes you look ugly or makes your makeup look bad. And I'm not also trying to say that the methods I use in this video are the acceptable standards and the way that you must or you should do your makeup. There are no rules to makeup. If you do your makeup a certain way and it makes you look good, and you like what you're doing, then just continue. You don't really have to do all of this. I just feel like if you incorporate most of the things that I say in this video, your makeup will look better.
I know that's right.
Yeah. So let's just jump right in.
Summer floating over my heart. We're both dancing over the dark side. I don't know who you are,
Right, you already know it's serious when the wig comes off. Okay, let's start. The first step, I think, in any makeup is one, having a good skin work. If you have a good skin work, your makeup is not only going to last, it's not going to break, and it's going to look good. The skin work is like the foundation, is like the base of any makeup. So to do these do's and don'ts, this side is going to be my good side, this is going to be the do's, and this is going to be the don'ts. So first things first, I suggest you moisturize your skin before applying any product, before applying primer, before applying anything. And I use this aloe vera moisturizer. It's more water based, and the reason why I use water based is because the primer that I'm about to use is mattifying. So it's just to balance it up so that everything does not become like too matte or too drying. So for this side, I'm going to moisturize it. You can use a brush or you can use your hands. Another thing that people fail to do is prime their skin. I cannot emphasize or overemphasize the use and the importance of primer enough. So for this side, I'm not going to prime like most people, just going in with foundation. And for this side, I'm going to be using the Pond's primer. This primer is actually mattifying, and it's actually very drying. So the next obvious step is allowing your primer to sit and allowing it to dry a bit before going in with foundation. If you go in with foundation immediately after applying your primer, your foundation is going to mix with your primer. The next like do's is having the right shade of foundation, having the right shade of foundation. Using a foundation that is lighter, redder, or darker than your skin is going to affect your makeup. You're going to look different. One thing that people like do that I think is wrong is matching their foundation to their neck, because most people, especially for people of color, their neck is usually darker than their chest. On this side, I'm going to match the foundation to my neck, and on this side, I'm going to match the foundation to my chest. Let's go. Applying your foundation on a beauty sponge. Don't apply the foundation to your skin before going in with a beauty sponge to blend it. If you apply your foundation on a beauty sponge, some of the product is absorbed into the beauty sponge before it is you even put it on your skin. If you have a brush, you can use a brush to just like smudge it out. I think that's too much. Yeah. Another tip, don't go in with a dry beauty sponge. Make sure that your beauty sponge is damp, not wet, damp. And this will help you blend your makeup, blend your foundation, your concealer, whatever it is you're blending seamlessly. I don't think there's anybody in 2023 who still applies makeup like this. But in case there is, I'm going to tell you, always dab on your makeup and not rub or smear, whatever the word is. This will give you more like a natural finish, more full coverage. In this side, I'm going to be applying a darker foundation because it matches my neck. Another mistake that people make is using an already dirty or used beauty sponge that has products in it to blend out their makeup. And just for emphasis, this is a dry beauty sponge, so you can see how it blends out. Another wrong thing that people do is applying foundation underneath your eyes. This will affect the concealer that you are going to apply later because now there is already a layer of makeup product on your face. Then adding the concealer tends to build up makeup product, which make it cakey, and that is why there tends to be separation and breakage. In this side, I barely applied foundation underneath my eyes, while in this side, I am applying foundation underneath my eye. All right. So for concealer, one of the mistakes that people make is using a very drying and a very matte, cakey concealer. Example of that is this. Aside from using a very matte, drying, cakey concealer, one other mistake that people make is the triangle. The triangle. In 2023, I don't think that the triangle is needed. And applying a lot of concealer underneath your eyes. I used to make this mistake, or I used to do this in 2023, really. And this is especially when you do not have dark circles or under eye bags. The concealer that I normally use regularly is the LA Girl Pro Concealer. This is soft, subtle, and easy to blend. But in the do side, apply a little bit of concealer in your inner corner and the outer part and blend it out. Now, we're going to see how hard it is to actually blend this concealer and what it turns out to be. I'm trying to make this makeup as realistic as possible and not exaggerating the bad side because some of them is not that bad. For my other side, I'm going to spray my brush and I'm going to let the concealer sit in and dry out for a while. This gives it more coverage and allows the concealer to set into your face. When blending out your concealer, use little to no pressure and just slightly dab on the beauty sponge. So this is the difference between this side and this side. If you have dark under eyes, the best thing for you to do is to color correct before you apply your concealer and not using your concealer to try and cover up your dark circles. Next, we're going to go into contouring. One of the mistakes that people make in contouring is using a very dark, extremely dark shade of contour. Your contour shade is meant to be 2 to 3 shades darker than you, not 4 to 5 shades darker than you. So I'm going to be using a very dark MAC foundation. This belongs to my mom because I'm not that dark. You can see how dark and shady this is, and you can see how terrible it looks. This is one of the mistakes that you need to try and avoid. I use this LA Girl Pro Concealer, a darker version of it, to contour. There is no real need of you applying so much contour, so much liquid contour, when you know you're going to apply powder contour all over it. You can see how subtle and like minimal this is. It's like it's not even there compared to the harshness of this. Moving on, another mistake that people tend to make is baking. You can have a flawless looking makeup without having to bake. When you have a very bright cakey concealer underneath your eyes, going in with a yellow matte powder is, if for whatever reason you decide that you want to bake, set your concealer first before applying your baking powder. But some people just tend to go on like that. So I'm gonna do that because that's what they do. On this other side, rather than just applying a bunch of powder on my under eye, I'm going to take a light shade of powder. You can use a translucent powder or a light shade of powder, not necessarily have to be yellow, and just set your concealer. After dabbing it, I remove the excess at the back of my hand and just go over it gently. You can see how very subtle and good looking this is compared to this. After you keep your bake for about 3 or 2 minutes, you decide to wipe it off. Your bake might have settled into some of the creasing of the concealer. Using a light powder contour can actually help make your makeup look, your contour look better. I use this shade in the middle. As you can see, it's not that dark and not that like far off from my contour shade. In circular motions, it gives it a natural look. Some people just tend to go like this to contour, and by doing so you can see the demarcation between your concealer and your powder and your contour. It gives that demarcation that you going in circular motions. That way it blends with your powder. Another mistake people make is not setting their entire face with face powder. They feel, oh, I've applied powder here, I've applied the powder contour here, and I've baked here. There's no need to apply powder. Applying powder is not necessarily to cover your face, but to like blend everything together, to blend out this harshness that is here. And also, above your lips might not have had any powder throughout the whole makeup process. You can see the huge difference between this side and one mistake people make is not applying setting spray. Why would you not want to apply setting spray? Just why? So you take your setting spray and just, especially if the pump of your setting spray comes out with force or more, go far away and just spray your face. This takes away some of the shine, this takes away some of the powder, this takes, then take your fan and let that dry into your skin. One other mistake that people tend to make is using the wrong highlighter for your skin. I have this palette, the Sophie X Revolution palette here. And as you can see in this palette, there are different shades. It's not bad to play with this pink and this colored shade. But for me, I think for my skin tone, one, two, three. 1, 2, 3 is my shade. Me coming to use this shade, it's going to appear white and ashy on my skin. Let's try it out. Let's not talk. Let's do practical. While this shade is very beautiful, very, very beautiful, I don't think it matches my skin. But if you want to use it, you can combine it with a darker one. Maybe apply a darker one first, then apply that one on top. Then this is me going in with this gold shade. Not even the darkest, this gold shade here. The same application method. First of all, I must commend this palette. The highlighter is actually highlighting. It's glowing. The glow is glowing. So this is the difference between this side and this side. In my sleep, I'll choose this side. It looks more natural. It looks more like me. This looks like, I don't even know what to say. All right. So for lips, the first mistake that most people make is not lining your lip, overly lining your lip. Overlining your lip is not bad, but when you overly line it, like it becomes so fucking obvious. Like even from far, I can tell that that's not your lip, babes. You did something that is totally wrong. So, and using, if you're not trying to do ombre lip, two-toned lip, there is no need of taking a extremely darker shade of lip liner from what you want to do. I'm taking this shade now. So this is this part of my lip overlined, overlined. For this side, I'm going to take the exact same shade of lipstick that I want to use and just lightly. As you can see on my lips, there is a lip balm on my lip. One of the mistakes that people make is applying matte lipstick on a dry lip. So I'm going to wipe off this side. The same way it is advisable for you to moisturize your face and prime it before you apply your makeup product. It's the same way it is advisable for you to moisturize your lips before you apply makeup product. For this side, I'm going to use a lipstick shade that is closer to the lip liner I applied. And for this side, I'm going to use a totally different color from the lip liner that I applied. As you can see, applying a matte lipstick to a dry lips make it add, makes it hard for the lipstick to apply. I didn't do eyeshadow and brows today, but in the next video, I will be doing top mistakes that people make in eyeshadow. Like I'll be doing eyeshadow do's and don'ts to couple with the brows. Yeah, I think this is everything. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, subscribe. 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 If you have clicked this video and you have watched it up to this point, subscribe. It's not fair that you watch my video and you don't subscribe. I feel really sad.